Billionaire hears a poor single mom beg, "Please save my daughter." What he does next will shock you. The rain fell like it had no mercy left, drenching the city streets in a gray blur as luxury cars glided past puddles without slowing down. Outside a private hospital known only to the richest families in the city, a woman collapsed to her knees on the cold marble steps. Her clothes were worn thin, her hair clung to her face, and her hands trembled as if they could no longer hold hope. Inside that hospital was her daughter, slipping away minute by minute, while the world around her continued as if nothing was wrong. And at that exact moment, a man who owned half the skyline was about to hear a plea that would change two lives forever. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity to change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. The woman had once dreamed of a simple life. She had imagined birthday candles, school uniforms, and bedtime stories whispered under a weak ceiling fan. But life had been cruel early on. Her husband had died in an accident when their daughter was barely 2, leaving her with grief, debt, and a child who depended on her for everything. She worked wherever she could, cleaning homes, washing dishes, standing on her feet until her legs felt like they would snap. Every coin she earned went toward rent, food, and medicine for her little girl, whose health had always been fragile. Still, she never complained. Love made exhaustion feel lighter, until one day, love alone was no longer enough. Her daughter collapsed one evening, her small body burning with fever, her breath shallow and uneven. Doctors at a public clinic shook their heads and referred her elsewhere, their eyes apologetic but helpless. The diagnosis was severe, the treatment urgent, and the cost far beyond anything the mother could imagine earning in 10 lifetimes. She sold what little she had, borrowed from people who were just as poor, and still came up short. Desperation pushed her toward the gates of a hospital where people like her were never meant to enter. That was when the billionaire arrived. He was known for his sharp mind, colder reputation, and a schedule planned down to the minute. He had built his empire from nothing, or so the magazine said, but somewhere along the way, his heart had learned to protect itself behind numbers, contracts, and glass walls. As his car stopped at the hospital entrance, the woman saw him step out, surrounded by quiet authority. She did not know his name, only that people like him had the power to decide who lived comfortably and who struggled just to breathe. With no plan and no pride left to protect, she crawled forward and grabbed the edge of his coat. Security moved instantly, but he raised a hand, stopping them. He looked down and saw not just a poor woman, but a mother already grieving a loss that had not yet happened. Her lips moved, her face twisted with pain, and though the words were lost in the rain, the meaning was clear. She was begging for her child's life. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. The billionaire felt something stir inside him, something he had buried long ago. He remembered a small apartment, a mother who skipped meals so he could eat, nights when fear sat heavier than hunger. Success had erased those memories, or so he thought. But here they were, staring back at him through the eyes of a broken woman on a hospital floor. He did not offer comfort or speeches. He simply walked inside. What followed stunned everyone who witnessed it. Doctors were summoned, paperwork was cleared, and the best specialists were called in immediately. A private room was prepared, machines hummed to life, and a team worked tirelessly through the night. The woman sat outside, soaked and shaking, convinced she was dreaming. She expected at any moment to be told there had been a mistake, that she did not belong there. But no one sent her away. Hours turned into an eternity. The billionaire returned, not with cameras or announcements, but with quiet certainty. He ensured every expense was covered, not just for the surgery, but for recovery, therapy, and long-term care. Yet what shocked everyone most was not the money. It was what he did next. He sat beside the woman, not above her. Not apart from her. Beside her. He listened as she poured out years of fear, sacrifice, and loneliness. He heard about nights she stayed awake counting her daughter's breaths, mornings she smiled despite knowing she might not afford dinner. And as she spoke, something inside him finally cracked open. The surgery was long and risky. When the doctor finally emerged with hopeful news, the woman collapsed again, this time in relief. Tears streamed down her face as gratitude overwhelmed her body. Her daughter had survived. She would live. Days later, as sunlight filled the hospital room, the little girl opened her eyes, weak but alive. Her mother held her hand, afraid to blink, afraid the miracle might vanish. The billionaire visited quietly, watching from the doorway. He saw not a rescued child, but a future restored. And in that moment, he understood that wealth meant nothing if it did not reach moments like this. He arranged more than medical care. He ensured the woman had a stable home, a job that respected her dignity, and education support for her daughter. But he never asked for recognition. There were no press releases, no public praise. He asked for only one thing, that she live without fear. Just before the ending of this story, take a moment to comment below. Write one word that describes how this moment made you feel. Your words matter more than you know. Years later, the billionaire would say that the greatest investment of his life was made on a rainy hospital step when he chose compassion over indifference. The little girl grew stronger, brighter, and full of dreams. And her mother learned that even in the darkest moments, kindness can arrive without warning and change everything. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that humanity still exists in unexpected places, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive, and your kindness helps spread light where it is needed most.